If Jack thinks for 1 second that he is messed up, then his whole world falls apart. Why? Because right away he thinks he's no good. And if he feels like a failure, like he's no good, then he'll self-injure or destroy property or become verbally abusive. He once self-injured and destroyed property by punching a window when a staff person became overly rigid about forcing Jack to do something he didn't want to do. So we use some pretense, but let me make a clear distinction here between pretense and dishonesty. Our guys deserve and have a right to the truth. We use pretense to help them save face. The pretense we use is the same as gentle handling of something that's fragile. So what would it look like to give JC praise if he does something wrong? How does that even work? In my first training, I talked about mixing pancake batter. I hope you remember. If we saw Jack mixing pancake batter and he skipped an ingredient, we could respond in a few different ways. First is what comes naturally. That would be along the lines of, hey, you forgot the eggs. The pancakes won't cook right without the eggs. What's wrong with saying what comes naturally? Well, won't is a negative word, right? I hope that by now we're all sensitive to the words that are negative. The stops, the don'ts, the can'ts, the no's, the won'ts. There was also a level of fault-finding in that we said what he was making would not cook right. There was still another problem. Could you identify it? It was the use of the subject you as the doer. You forgot the eggs, which puts him on the spot. Telling Jack that he forgot the eggs is pretty much the same as shaming him, which is pretty much the same in his mind as telling him he's worthless. Because he'll believe that he's worthless and he'll act out in self-destructive ways. Remember, fragile ego. What's another way to approach the egg problem? We might say in a friendly but slightly worried tone of voice, don't forget to put the eggs in. In this case, first of all, there was a negative word, don't. Second, reminding him to put the eggs in could make him feel like he can't remember the simplest things. So he'll conclude that he's worthless and he may act out in self-destructive ways. A better way to approach the problem is to say, using a positive emotional presentation and a friendly tone of voice, can I help you mix the pancakes? This grants him decision-making power. Therefore, it's a good approach for many reasons. It doesn't find fault. There are no negative words in it. He isn't shamed by it. And he gets to make a decision. Also, Jack can be motivated by attention. So the offer of one-to-one pancake mixing might go very well. If he says he doesn't want help, fine. It's just pancakes. Remember, if it's not a safety issue, it's just not that big a deal. Leave it be. We all know how to give praise when something is done right, as well as when something is done well. Never forget to notice and praise a task that's merely done right. There will be a quiz after this training, so bear in mind the 5 rules of engagement. The second of those rules is give Jack a lot of positive feedback, praise, and encouragement. The third rule of engagement: ask questions. Questions are our friends. Questions that start with the words can I, as in, can I help you mix the pancakes, allow Jack to make choices and decisions. Presenting options is vital to our work. Presenting options can nearly always take the form of a question. Can I call you to the table now, or are you still busy? Can I go in your room to see if I left the remote in there, or do you want to check for me? Even, can I prompt you now for your shower, or would you like me to wait 5 minutes? It's his house. It's his dinner. It's his room. It's his shower. He can decide. Imagine you were in your own apartment and somebody came in and tried to force you to eat when you weren't hungry. Remember, if it's not a safety issue, don't get all riled up or rigid about it. Leave it be. Another way to begin questions is with the words can we. So can I and can we. If we use a can we question, however, we need to take care not to mask a prompt in our question. So we don't want to say, can we take our shower now? Because we don't take that shower, only he does. But if we say, can we try out that yard tennis game we found in the closet? Then that's actually a proposal that would involve both of you. So remember, can I and can we? These words might be on a quiz at the end. They are what we use to frame our questions, and we're going to pose those questions as often as we can. Because of the quiz that follows this training, also keep in mind the 5 rules of engagement. The third rule is ask questions. The fourth rule of engagement: structure your communication with Jack. Shape your remarks based on what you expect his reaction will be. Jack is very sensitive to disappointment. He's easily upset. At times he can't handle even being prompted. Therefore, it's a good idea to use a form of script or use some structure when we know there's potential that his reaction will be negative. There are 3 potential reactions to be on guard against. Jack can be disappointed, Jack can be upset, and Jack can feel over-prompted. Okay, let's look first at disappointed. If we have the sense that what we're about to say might disappoint him, then we use a we can statement. This means that if Jack asks for or expects something that can't be done right away, we use a we can.